Hey everyone! So I wanted to. Yesterday I sent out a quick overview of the Explore PT activity. Now I want to make sure that you guys saw the email that was sent out. Again, I'm going to do a very quick overview today of the Create activity, just in case some of you are working on this on the weekend. Remember, we are going to do much more formal walkthroughs of these during the week, and I'll probably send out those recordings, sometime maybe later today. Worst case, probably be early tomorrow morning, but I'll have those out to you and they'll be more formal. But I wanted to give you a quick run through overview of the Create, just in case some of you are working on this over the weekend. So the Create has 3 parts, I believe, whereas the Explore has 2. But remember, it's about the same. I think they allot like 12 hours, so it's a little bit heavier, but not much, just because you're doing the Create part with the code. So again, I'm going to send you the template that looks like this. So here's the written response submission template. It has the little spots for you to type in to A, to B, same as the other one. Okay, and you're going to get captured code segments. So you're going to take snapshots of an image. Remember, you can use the snipping tool if you have a PC, or you can use the grab tool or Command-Shift-5 if you have a Mac. So you can grab those snapshots of your code, put the picture segments in here, and that is it. So the written response is actually a little shorter for this one because you are doing the Create. So let's go to the overview, and like I said, you're going to get this in this email, so you can go and click on this link. So let's go to this page really quick. This is the same page that I showed you from yesterday, but it also has information about the the Create PT as well as the Explore. So let's see where Create is. It looks like page 12, performance task, Create, applications and ideas. So let's go to page 12 and let's look at the quick overview of this and see if we can get an idea. Just like I said, if some of you are working on this weekend, this will help you kind of get started. Okay, so check out this document. All right, so Create. So this is the stuff that we've gone over this year. You can look through these and see if there's anything that you feel like you did not get enough of this year. Then we can talk about, we can talk about that. If you want to send me a text or an email, we can go over these. All right, and then here's the guidelines for completing it. All right, so you may see there's the schedule. I want to get down to the meat of it. Make sure you're doing it on your own. And obviously, I'm here to help you with things. I won't give you, tell you specifically what to write, but I can definitely help you start, get started or get your ideas. All right, so let's find. This is the exam. Let me find out where that spot is. Like I said, this is the first time I'm looking at this today, so I want to try to get where that one spot is, where it talks about the actual kind of guidelines for it. There's the submission requirements for the Create. Here we go. All right, so here it is. This is on page 9, it looks like, right after the Explore PT test. So page 9. All right, so let's see what it is. So a video, so it looks like 3 things that you're going to be submitting. So that's 5 total, okay? So make sure we know that's 5 total. That's 2 Explores and 3 Create. So a video of your program running. All right, that's really easy. Just turn on a recorder. I recommend using OBS Studios. OBS Studios is what I'm using to record this. You can see the setup here. I'm using this to record this right now. It's so simple to use. You can add displays. You can add webcams. You can add all kinds of display features. If you need help using OBS, just let me know, and I would love to do a quick tutorial on setting up and running your code. But you can do a display capture like I'm doing now, and it will simply capture your mic and the screen. So as long as you're running through the code, it's going to record it, and then you submit that video. So pretty simple there. All right, so there's your video. The individual written responses about your program. So this is the written response, same as the Explore, but there's a couple different questions, and then these are the snapshots. Program code, scoring guidelines and instruction for submitting your performance task are available. So you've got in your actual code. So you need to show them that your code is running, and then you need to show them your actual code. So you need to submit your code, okay? All right. So independently develop an algorithm that integrates 2 or more algorithms and that is fundamental for your program to achieve its intended purpose. Okay, so remember, when it says an algorithm, that's just a list of instructions. That's just a list of a series of instructions that if you run through them or the program runs through them, you complete some kind of task. Okay, it says integrates two or more algorithms. Okay, so you should have kind of smaller algorithms within your program, but this is common. Remember, we talked about this. This is just levels. Each function is an algorithm. So you're saying two or more functions, and then when those functions run together, that the whole thing is actually an algorithm. Sorry, so it's not, so don't they use the big word algorithm, but develop an abstraction that manages the complexity of your program. Remember, abstraction is just levels of complexity, okay? So the user should be able to use this program without having to know exactly what the functions do. Okay, so that means developing a level of abstraction. Okay, so it should not be running just from top to bottom. You should have things inside of functions, pretty much. Create your video, write your written responses, and submit your entire program code. Okay? Program requirements. So your program must demonstrate a variety of capabilities and implement several different languages or language features that, when combined, produce the result that cannot be easily accomplished without computing tools and techniques. Okay, so it's saying this is just a simple piece of code that does something that you can't normally do, by hand, right? So, for example, if you write a program that just says hello, this is not what it's talking about, because obviously that's simple. You can write hello, but like a calculator is a good example of something that does a function that's hard to do without computing tools. Okay, so some of those higher functions are hard to do without computing tools. Your program should draw upon mathematical and logical concepts such as use of numbers, variables, mathematical expressions, and arithmetic operators, logical and Boolean operators, and expressions, decision statements, iteration, and or collections. So pretty much use as many programming techniques as you can. Okay, so you want to use if-else statements. You want to use true or false. You can use loops, which is iteration, decision statements, if-else. So make sure you're using a lot of branching. And make sure you're just using some different concepts of programming. So you must demonstrate the use of several effectively integrated mathematical and logical concepts from the language you're using. Okay, remember, so those are comparators. Make sure you're manipulating some data. Okay, you're taking some data and you're manipulating it. You're adding it, subtracting it, multiplying it, moduloing it. Implementation of an algorithm that integrates two or more algorithms. It integrates mathematical or logical concepts. Again, it's hard to do a program without doing these requirements. So I've always thought they sound harder than they are, because it's hard to make any kind of program without doing this stuff. Development and use of abstraction to manage the complexity of your program. Again, that's talking about functions. All right, let's see. So make sure you have your stuff inside of functions. You're not just running from top to bottom. All right, so your submission requirements, again, here's your video, 1 minute in length, okay? So this is not long. This is just a quick run through of your code. Here's what it does. That's it. Written responses, all right? Your responses and all prompts combined must not exceed 750 words. So again, just like the Explore activity, this is small. This is not very big. So, I mean, we're talking about, a third of a major essay. So this is very small. All right, so here let's get down and look at the provide a written response or audio narration in your video. So make sure you're in your video that you have some kind of text, or make sure that you are speaking into your mic, telling them what the program is doing. Okay, so make sure you're not just running through it, but you run through it and then you tell them what's going on. And I guess this counts actually. So look, or audio narration in your video. So 2A can actually be done in your video. So that's kind of cool. You don't even have to do it. If you want to just explain this part in your video, you can put like explained in video, and then that part of the written response is done. Describe the incremental and iterative development process of your program, focusing on two distinct points in that process. Describe the difficulties and or opportunities you encountered and how they were resolved or incorporated. In your description, clearly indicate whether the development described was collaborative or independent, which it should be independent, unless you use some outside resource. Remember, pulling in outside resources as far as like if someone's written a function that you need, that's fine. But make sure that you tell them that you decided to use someone else's algorithm. At least one of these points must refer to independent program development. Good. So it's just saying make sure that you have done a large amount of independent work. You have not just copied and pasted a program. Capture and paste a program code segment that implements an algorithm. Boom, look at that. So you're going to grab an actual piece of your program. It looks like for 2C and 2D. Capture and paste a program code segment that contains an abstraction you developed individually on your own. Again, that is a function. Okay, so remember, if you put something into a function and then you can call it later, that's an abstraction. Capture and paste your entire program code in this section. So there you go, mark, and then it's going to give you some specific things that you need to mark on that code. And there you go. So that's it. So those are your 3 submissions for the Create. So now, just like the other video, I will be sending you this template. But let's talk about ideas. So what possible ideas, if you have not started this, what are some possible ideas? Well, remember, and this is my best advice for this one, because giving you specific examples for this one's difficult, but this is my advice. My advice is, don't let your ambitions outrun the amount of time you have or your abilities. And this is just a good computer science lesson in general. This is not because we are crunched for time. It's not because of the extension. This is just something you need to know. You can't. I have fallen victim to being way too ambitious and trying to create a, one fix for all things in programming, one program to do everything I ever want to do, and you just can't do that. So remember, think of a very simple task that is difficult to complete, and this is not something I would do, but let's think about, for a good example, think about the the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, this is something that is difficult to do in your head, but if you had a piece of software that you could quickly put in numbers and get the calculation of the Pythagorean theorem out of it, that is something that would be very useful, and it's something that's hard to do without a programming language, without computers. Okay, so that could be a good idea. And like I said, build off that. Maybe if you want to do something with shapes, geometry is an amazing thing. Geometry is so difficult to do without computers. So think along the lines of mathematics. I think mathematics are the best way to go for these. And that's pretty much it, guys. So like I said, that's a quick overview of the Create activity. I'll have a more formal walkthrough out to you pretty soon, and I will also have PowerPoints and recordings for all the different steps of this process and what I would do if I was doing this assignment. And then we were also going to have those mini lessons on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, morning and afternoon. So you're going to have plenty of time with me and plenty of different opportunities to ask questions. If you guys need me, please text me, and we'll get together and I'll try to answer all your questions. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you have any questions about this quick walkthrough, and I'll see you guys very soon.